YouTube friends and family to the hot summer edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So I have something really cute to show you all this morning. First of all, my girlies are out. It's got on too many devices here. It's only 6:15. The two times the fox came, which it's been well over a month now, was about this time of the morning. However, it's getting light so much earlier. And I don't know if you can hear in the background, but I do have the radio on. Hi, baby. So I just play like NPR, like talk radio. So let me give you your morning dose of chickens, and I have to show you the babies because I've not really been able to show them to you very well, simply because they were in the little coop in the coop and it was dark in there. So first cute shot of the three ladies. Can you weed while you're over there? It's going to be 88 today, and then we are having a 10-day stretch, and the babies are playing in the low to mid 90s. So it's going to be a hot one. But let me go show you the babies before they go back in their little coop. Little Miss Winona? Come here and show people how cute you are. Oh, fly. They don't like me yet. They like the chickens, but as you see, they've gotten a lot bigger. Winona is so stinking cute, I can't hardly stand it. And the other two are black copper Morans. And I noticed this morning that around their neck, copper is starting to come. I'm still gonna say, guys, they're probably not yet 16 weeks. I need to do some computing from the day of delivery, but you wanna come and say hi, Loretta and Reba? They're like, yeah, no, you're a people. But they jump and they play and they have so much fun. They're very, very hyper. And yesterday, I made a big mistake. So stay tuned and I'll tell you what I did. So if you've all been on my channel a while, you know I've always said Fancy Ray is a bully. And she's not really a bully. She's sweet to me. She's never pecked me, ever. But when Violet kept getting broody and would stay in the coop, when she would finally get unbroody and come out, Fancy Ray would peck her like she was an intruder. So I was like, I mustn't let the bully in with the babies. So yesterday, day before yesterday was the first day I let them out into the bigger coop. And I thought I had Jolene in there with them. But guys, I had Fancy Ray. The only way I can tell them apart when they're not side by side is by their comb. Jolene has a weird, one of her last point on her comb goes over to the side. So, oh, sorry about my hand, guys. I'm trying to film with my phone. It's not always easy. So by the time I realized it, it was too late, because Fancy Ray was like, I see you has baby food. I too like baby food. And she went right on in the little coop. They all got along just fine. So I'm letting them out a little bit this morning. I dread the really hot weather for them. So probably what I will be doing, besides, y'all, I feed and water every day. Sometimes it's just shaking the feed down if I've put a whole bag in. But the babies get feed and water twice a day because their containers are smaller and they're growing. The big girls just get their water changed. So I've done all that. And I know it looks like the leaves are changing. It's just the sun, the way it's shining. I hope, yes. I was second guessing myself. So let me get watering here. And then today we are going to talk about strategies to beat the heat. Now this morning it's only like 63. It's nice and cool. I've actually opened up the back door because it's not humid at all. It didn't do last night. And I'm just gonna let the house chill out normally, and then I won't have to run the AC quite as much. But anyway, let me get busy and I'll see y'all in a few. I just have to show you, I am amazed. I've got 3 good-sized blooms on my zucchini. Everything with these hotter temperatures is just really taking off. My pumpkins are getting taller. My beans, so far I don't see any blooms on them, but it's a little early. I need to do a little bit of weeding right there. My flowers are blooming. I have lots of tomatoes on the vine. They're certainly not ripe. You can see over there, cabbage are getting big. Broccoli, that one's probably close to being ready to harvest. This one has a little more time, and this one hasn't done much. It is like the smallest ever broccoli, so that one will stay in. What you girlies doing? Huh? You don't, dot. You can't go back there. Let me go change which way they're headed. I just wanted to show you little Miss Jolene. She's doing so good. She still gets tired though. So I had to chase him away from I won't let him go back to the wood chip pile. So let me take her over here. You want to go see his sissies? All my chickens, big chickens, are very accustomed to me packing them around. So the babies being afraid is a new thing for me. Is it fun up here? Okay, here she sees. Woo-wee! And while we're over here, y'all, I don't know if you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 2 that are spent. This thing is just blooming like crazy. And again, I'm not sure what kind of pumpkin, but I bet you we get pumpkins. And it looks like the lawn guys chopped that off. Oh, well. All right, well, we're back inside. The girls had fun. They're in their coop resting, and I wanted to share something with you all. How did I find the tomato seed? Not real sure on that one. While I was out, I am in the village limits, but 2 houses behind me is not in the village limits. And I heard some chickens, just, rooster crowing, etc. And somebody let off a huge shotgun shot, one. And it came from behind. So I love animals, but that fox is wreaking havoc. And I had posted, as I shared with you all, on Next Door Neighbor, or whatever it's called. I think it is called Next Door Neighbor. Anyway, it's a public forum, and one of the fellow townspeople commented that, so that would be 2 blocks up and 1 block, so 2 blocks south, 1 block east, so very, very close to me. They're seeing fox in the field, which sets off the dogs, etc. So that's probably not the only fox. It's just very unfortunate for the girls because I liked letting them out to play all day, but it's not an option because that fox is so quick, and I thought I was safe with the fence, but I'm not. What I can say is, since I added the fox lights, the radio, the cameras, the annex, I feel like I've done everything I can possibly do. I'm even not putting food in my compost bin, thinking that might be a smell attractant to them. I think he's after chickens. But at any rate, he or she, whichever. Maybe the fox crossed the Rainbow Bridge today. I don't know. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about high heat. So I am a very warm-blooded person. I don't know, with the ring light and stuff, you don't always notice. My face gets really red. I get really hot. It's not my age. I've kind of always been that way, but I'm sure menopause doesn't help. But I don't have hot flashes at any rate. So I thought, when I worked, we did a lot of heat safety research and tips because not all of our home care clients had air conditioning. And it made it very difficult for us to provide a caregiver for them when it was unbearably hot. And that was coupled with the risk because sometimes older people don't like to drink a lot of liquids if they have incontinence issues. So I thought, the Red Cross always had some really good tips. So I looked them up, and we're going to talk about that while we work on our dish for today. So one of the ways to beat the heat for me is to not heat up my house with cooking. I love cooking. But next week, y'all, I do plan, well, I guess it will be this week, depending on when this goes up. It's going to be hot enough. I'm going to do some sun oven cooking. I have a really good dish I want to share with you. Anyway, I had purchased some asparagus. And this is only half a pound. And I looked up a recipe from All Recipes, and this is called spring asparagus salad because asparagus usually grows in the spring. Y'all, I've epically failed on growing asparagus. I don't know why. I've just given up on it. And for most people, it's terribly invasive. For me, it does not grow. At any rate, this is sort of a Chinese-influenced recipe. So the first thing I'm going to do, these are washed and trimmed. If you don't know, like, how do I avoid getting the pithy or the fibrous part? You simply take your asparagus and you snap it. And where it snaps, from there up, is where you're going to have your most tender shoots, so to speak. So you probably can hear over on the stove, I've got some water on the stove there. And it does say, put some lightly salted water. I'm not gonna salt it. And that's just a personal choice. But we are gonna talk about some heat tips. I'm trying not to let this boil over, so let me check it here. Okay. It's like there, but not there, right? And we are going to just boil our asparagus, depending on the diameter of your shoots, for 3 to 5 minutes. If you like it super, super crunchy, or your shoots are very thin, I would go with 3. I think I'm going to hit it in the middle, pardon me, and go with 4 minutes. And you want to remove it immediately, dump it through a colander, and rinse it under cold water. So I can almost hear it boiling. So let's just talk a little bit while I'm waiting on the water. I'm going to talk throughout this recipe of, heat tips, things to keep yourself safe. As we get older, we're more prone to heat exhaustion and, Lord forbid, heat stroke. So I have to be extremely careful because I run a little hot anyway. Okay, now we're boiling. Now we're cooking with electricity. So let's set the timer for 4 minutes. And get back to our discussion. So one of the things that is really important, you do want to wear sunscreen, not only to hopefully ward off any type of skin cancer type thing, but it also keeps you from getting a sunburn. And if you've all had sunburns, you're hot and you're freezing all at the same time. It's not healthy for us, but sunscreen can really help you not be miserable that evening if you've had to be outdoors. I wear SPF 50 because I'm a heavy sweater, and I found I guess it's a foundation. It's white, but it kind of turns like skin color when you put it on. It doesn't leave white on you. Color Science is what I use. It is kind of pricey, but for summer, that's what I'm using. It's about $50 for a tube. $49, I think, is what I paid. But you only need like a dime size amount because I don't wear heavy makeup. All right, so wear your sunscreen, reapply when you perspire. And don't forget about areas like this. So a lot of times I have on a very baggy shirt, and if you're sweating or if you wet down your shirt and the neckline gets lower, I burned the back of my neck already once this year. It wasn't really bad, but just remember, tops of the ears, tip of your nose, places that stick out further, you're more prone to get overexposed on sun. The second thing is to wear a hat. Now, if you're going to wear a hat, make sure it's ventilated, maybe a big floppy brim hat. I have one, and to me, it makes me feel hotter, but I know that it's good to wear those. So find one that fits your head well, that can breathe with you as you're out there working in the heat or exposed to the sunshine. Of course, wear lightweight, light colored too. I've got on a black shirt, but it's not 90 yet. Wear loose clothes. Cotton clothes are good, linen, things that will breathe. For me, as a lady, skirts and sundresses are way cooler most of the time than shorts. Now, you've all probably noticed I don't wear my clothes very fitted because I'm fat. Nobody wants to see that. But I find I stay cooler by doing that. Let me check our... to turn the fan on. I would normally run the exhaust fan, but it'll interrupt our video here. And then finally, take breaks, y'all. When you feel yourself like, whew, I'm so hot, I don't think I can stand it. Here, I can walk in the shade. I have a lot of shade. Even though I had 55 trees removed, I still have a bunch more. So I can get out of the direct sun. Or if you're really starting to feel like you've passed the point of being hot, that it's dangerous, come inside, sit in front of a fan. And we're going to talk about some other things you can do to keep yourself cool. So the number 2 thing, and again, this came from the Red Cross, guys. I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm simply reiterating what they say works, and I know has worked for me. So, y'all, it's not a fashion contest. Drench your tea, or your top, or the top of your sundress, or all your clothes. That evaporation really helps cool you down. Now, I would just use the garden hose, but you could certainly wet it at the kitchen sink, put it on, then go outside. But that really has helped me. And also, don't take icy cold showers. If you do get overheated and you're done for the day, just make them cool, not icy cold. Icy cold can cause other problems with that dramatic temperature change. So that's always a good idea. Okay, well, that was quickety quick. Yeah, that's too hot. Oh, that smells really, really good. Y'all like asparagus? I love asparagus. So I'm just running some cool water through my colander here. Okay, we'll let that sit a minute while we keep talking about ways to stay cool. Number 3. Y'all, this is one I do not have problems with. Drink plenty of water. And I say water versus liquids because there's so many beverage options nowadays. Anything that's caffeinated is going to contribute further to your dehydration because it acts as a diuretic. So your caffeinated iced teas, your sports drinks, your energy drinks. So some good things to try, and I swear by this one. Liquid IV, it's a little powder packet. It's sugar-free that you can put in water that will help to restore your electrolyte balance if you've sweated profusely and you really are not feeling well. That's a good one to try. There are some rehydrating sports drinks. I don't have experience with those. I just have used liquid IV. Stay away from iced coffee, things like that. Be alert. If you are thirsty, you are already somewhat dehydrated, and that is a medical fact. I always say I'm always thirsty, but I'm just a heavy liquid consumer. So be alert to your thirst. A dry mouth, if your lips feel, parched. If you start to become dizzy, confused, or have a headache, those are danger signs, and you need to immediately get into a cool place, start hydrating, and call for help if you need medical assistance for sure. Not sure what that noise was. Okay, number 4, y'all. I know a lot of people enjoy like a cold beer, a frozen margarita. I don't know a lot about drinks like that. But alcohol is one of the worst things that you can do for your heat safety. Say that very carefully. All alcohol is a diuretic, and it's also a sleep interrupter. So if you are already hot and having trouble sleeping, and you think, well, I'll have a couple drinks, and then I'll relax, it actually can have the opposite effect. So, be very mindful if you do want to consume any alcohol. Number 5, eat light meals. So in the summer, a lot of us don't have great appetites. I don't want a big, heavy, winter, hearty soup or lasagna. That is just, I like salads, I like egg salad, I like sandwiches, I like tomato sandwiches. I actually do like soup, which is also very hydrating, but I try not to eat just tons and tons of hot food because it just will make you feel hotter. You can also focus on high water content foods if this is in your dietary plan. Watermelon is a great one. I've been craving watermelon. It's a little too early yet here. And Piper's is not open, guys. That's why we have not been to Piper's, because I'm dying to go. The farmer's market. So melons are good. Lettuce, cucumbers, even celery. I don't care for celery, but those type of things added to your salad can really boost your hydration. If you feel like, oh, my stomach is so full of liquid, that may be another alternative for you. And obviously, number 6, limit your activities to cooler times of the day. So when we have these heat waves, and we always do, not usually this early and not usually this long, we're up for 10 days of mid-90s and no rain. I will still have to do chicken chores. I will still have to collect eggs. I will still have to water. The garden might still need some weeding, although I may skip it for 10 days because it's in pretty good shape right now. So early morning is great for me. My garden is in full sun from 11 to 12 on. So I will not be working in the garden at those times. And the sun sets so late. We're almost to the longest day of the year, the 21st, that I'm already in bed and I'm not watering it 10 o'clock at night to be out of the sun. Keep your house cool. Now, I know this can get pricey, guys. I don't even want to get my electric bill. However, I am not going to be miserable. I am not. So, one of the things that has really helped me is I have ceiling fans in a number of my rooms, but I want you to remember that ceiling fans or fans in general cool people, not rooms. Now, the exception to that would be if you're reverse putting a fan in the window to draw in cool night air, that can certainly cool your house. But I'm talking for your own personal coolness. It will help your electric bill if you only use the fans in the room that you're actually in. I have, my bedrooms are upstairs and it gets very hot up there. Y'all, I don't have the best insulation ever. So I have a portable air conditioning unit. So while I like to be super cool at night while I sleep, I don't have to cool down the whole house. And usually there's about a 7-degree difference between downstairs and upstairs. I know, right? But on the north end of the house, there are no trees. They're all on the south end of the house. So the sun shining in really makes a difference. And I simply run that air conditioner through the night and stay cool, and I'm able to sleep. And I also use the ceiling fan. I shut off the bathroom, the hallway door, just leave a crack for Frankie. Frankie got to sleep with his mom. And it really does help me to sleep better and not feel so cranky and so exhausted all the time when it's so hot. The final thing I want to leave you with is just some signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion. Like, when do you know when you've crossed from hot into a problem? So if you're dizzy, if you are confused, if you just can't cool down and you're panting, if you have a headache, if you start to get cramps, and this usually happens if you've lost a tremendous amount of salt through your sweat, you will start to cramp up, and that's where things like Liquid IV or the sports rehydrating non-caffeinated drinks can be a big help to you. If you turn pale in spite of being overheated, those are all danger signs. So my suggestion is if you can't reverse it quickly with hydration and cooling down, seek medical attention. Don't wait until you have a complete heat stroke. And y'all, I've seen a few of them in my career of 43 years now. I've been an RN. All right, guys, let's get to making some salad. So, again, this comes from All Recipes. I'm gonna probably change it up a little bit because this is for 1.5 pounds of asparagus and I only have a 1/2 pound. So, oh, I should have opened this. Let's see. Oh. Hey, boy, hey, that was easy. So what are you gonna need? So I'll give you the full recipe. Let's see here. First thing we need is a tablespoon of rice vinegar. So you can find this. Am I gonna measure, you ask? No, I'm not. I'm just gonna slop it together. It's a very forgiving recipe. Then you need a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. Well, I don't have that. I have white wine vinegar. So let's add that. A teaspoon of soy sauce, and I am using Bragg's liquid aminos. And I am gonna use about a teaspoon of sugar. Now, being diabetic, I don't use sugar. I'm gonna use stevia. Oh, that smells good. I love the smell of rice vinegar, rice wine vinegar. Same for the countertop. Yeah, buddy. Excuse me, y'all. Don't breathe in that vinegar. Calls for a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Now, I did this like, I think Christmas before last. This is cranberry Dijon mustard. It's delicious. It is not super pretty. Can I just say that? It's not. But it's extremely tasty. Pardon me, y'all. I'm trying not to clunk the silver either. Now, it calls for 2 tablespoons of peanut oil. I don't have peanut oil. I don't keep it in the house. I think that would be really good. I'm going to substitute about a tablespoon of avocado oil. And this is the Azure Organic Cold Pressed. Next, a tablespoon of sesame oil. And y'all don't go overboard with it because you'll wish you hadn't. I'm gonna do like a scant tablespoon. I don't like to be over sesameed. Is that a word? Now, you have a choice here. You can do your asparagus in spears. I think it's the prettiest that way. Or you can chop it up. Let me get the water out of this. This feels like room temperature to me. It's not super cold. So I'm going to place in my asparagus, and I'll show what it looks like here in just a moment. I'm going to actually do a taste test, and then I'm going to refrigerate it for later consumption because I want it nice and chilly. So, okay, we'll just use our hands. Yeah, it's probably not the best shaped bowl I picked, but it's pretty easy to coat it, and then you can pour a little of the dressing on if you want. Okay, let me get the oil off my hands. We'll add our final ingredient. Y'all, it's a gorgeous day, not a cloud in the sky, but it is gonna be a hot one. 88. And then I want to sprinkle white sesame seeds. I vacuum seal my sesame seeds because I do buy them in bulk because they will go rancid. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it with some sesame seeds. Wow, that's a pretty dish. So let me bring it around and tip it and show you what it looks like. How beautiful is that? I can see it on a platter. Okay, well, we're just gonna take one that's on top and give it a taste. Wow. That, y'all, is delish. Perfectly tender. Highly recommend the 4 minutes. I can really taste the sesame. I can taste the vinegar. It does have a back note of sweet. If you don't want that, you could certainly leave that out, but I think this is an excellent summer dish. Super fast. Very cooling. And I think for most people could be a part of their diet. So y'all, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. A little bit of chickens, a little bit of garden, a little bit of heat saving tips. I know y'all say you don't notice it, but I notice that I'm still waiting on 2 implants that I don't chew as well. So it takes me a little longer to chew. And a little bit of cooking. So I plan to see you all later this week. Lord willing and the creek don't rise, as my dad would say. And do me a big favor. Would you smash that like button on your way out and leave me a comment? What is your favorite summer salad or summer dish for those hot, sultry summer evenings when you really don't feel like cooking? This is something you could do early in the day. Didn't put a lot of heat in the kitchen. I dumped out the hot water immediately, so it was very, very quick. All right, guys, I will see you very soon. But until then, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.